moving forward. It was milestone time for veteran slot defenseman Timo Timonen on Saturday. The fifth shorthanded goal of his career. Was also the final overall tally was tremendous. NHL Flyers tied the series at 3 games apiece. Over the Edmonton Oilers. Step with the winner. Let's find out. After these messages. Center. Flyers and Oilers. They had Fargo Center here in Philadelphia 2010. Going back to November of 08. And the Flyers haven't beaten the Oilers at all in almost 10 years.
We'll take a look at our key starting goaltenders for this one. In goal for the Edmonton Oilers, Devin Dubnyk. He has won 4 of his last 6 starts. For the Flyers, Sergei Bobrovsky. His last appearance was coming in a relief capacity in the... Well, I guess you could best describe it as the mess at Madison Square Garden on Sunday with the Flyers losing 7-0 to the Rangers.
Complete day off for them yesterday. They're told not even to go to the rink. 6 players hopefully getting better, like Jeff Carter. And see what the effort is like here in this one. They're setting you up in a very important hockey game for the Flyers.
Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Edmonton Oilers lead the finals 3-2.
Combinations. Changes for Philadelphia. Giroux settling back, passing it all the way back to the line. Kept it by Donovan. His eyes for a shot that's blocked in front. And Rinsak after the rebound and jabbed out with the neutral zone.
I can tell you, I've been checked by warm-ups an awful lot broadcasting over the years, but the Flyers were on fire in the warm-up. As active as I've seen them all season.
People out of that also very happy with the morning skate today. But the pace was good, so we'll see if it translates to game action. There's the captain of the Oilers, Horkoff, setting it into the Philadelphia zone. As you look at the Edmonton Oilers combinations at the top of your screen, put together by their coach Tom Ray. He turns with the puck, but he's checked and a roll on out through center and all the way down. Veteran defenseman Jason Strudwick after it. Christopher Stieg is after him. Gives him a bump at the corners. The puck bounces high in the air. And now we've got a penalty. A hooking call from Marcus Vinneberg, first European-trained NHL referee.
Flyers number 20, minor penalty, hooking.
And he's working in Philadelphia for the first time. It took him 1 minute of game action to hear booze. They're not the virtuous it took him so long. A long list for the Oilers. They have had to deal with some serious injuries to key players like Hall, Hemsky, and for the Flyers, you saw that Andreas Nodal and Nikolai Zherdev are now not in the lineup as they have been scratched for this one. There's Carter back, and Dan Carcillo now added to the lineup as well. So Pronger is off for hooking. And the Oilers power play goes to work. It has not been strong for the most part this year, as those numbers would indicate. They have tallied 3 times in their last 7 opportunities over the last 2 games. But special teams have been a big problem for the Oilers this season. There's a turnover. Darryl Powell picks up the puck. Powell picking up speed to the back end, but his shot is deflected out of play by Garvin.
No kidding.
Get it to O'Donnell and then all the way back down the ice.
I don't think the Flyers have to really fear the Edmonton power play. I mean, it's tied for last in the league, and they're without a couple of their real skill guys in Hemsky and Hall. But being in the penalty box continues to be a momentum killer. So that's what the Flyers have to focus on, is just staying out of the box. Not fearing the power play, but not killing their own momentum.
Yeah, and their energy level, absolutely, yeah. It's taxing. 42 seconds remaining on this power play for Edmonton. The response to lose the puck to center. And got it in, and now Jones hits it to Sam Gagner. Back out. Tagliano got the point shot blocked by Powell. He's after it. He's interfered with. Penalty coming up. He lost his stick. Trying to kick the puck. The Mets nearly got it through. The Oilers break it up. And play is called. Their power play over. The response to lose the puck to center. And got it in, and now Jones hits it to Sam Gagner.
Giroux.
The point shot by Powell. He's after it. He's interfered with.
The penalty is over. Giroux strikes first for game 6. Stanley Cup final goal for Giroux.
He lost his step, tried to take the puck to this.
Down in front of Coatsy. Garrett Powell just been able to get a little further ahead on this one. I think he could have ended up being awarded a penalty shot.
You were thinking the same thing I was because he was gone. No two ways about it. So the penalty's going to be able to stop them to have that breakaway. And, you know, it was amazing because Timo went over to the referee and said, hey, by the way, do you think that might have been a penalty shot? And the referee said, absolutely no way. But Bill, you and I, we're on the same wavelength there.
1-0.
You got to be on the offensive side of the red line, so that would have been close.
The 11th goal of the Stanley Cup final. The Stanley Cup playoffs.
The power play, so they're in a good position there now. Goal side for the next 14 seconds. Flyers get back to get the puck in their own zone. Powell. Drop it off for Jeff Carter. But his pass off of Horkoff and gathered by Shreve. Sanchez to Tom Gilbert.
Flyers led the NHL in the whole season. There were 74 goals scored by this week.
The Horkoff process, and the Flyers will get to that too. Van Riemsdyk down, kicking it ahead. Holds on. Flips it on goal. Goodness making save as Flyers went to the net there. In front of Jeff Carter. Here's Mazars across. Flyers on the man advantage. He set up quickly. Riemsdyk to Mazars. Gives it up on the goal line to Carter. Back out to Andre. Now it's Carter again. Hits it to the line. Draws two people to him. Now the crosshairs pass. And Van Riemsdyk tipped away in the slot. And Gilbert is able to clear it.
Rather than take the time of getting Chris Pronger all the way across the ice, they just sent him out there to patrol the front of the net, which he's used to.
Instead of the clear here. And Vansky out of his net to set it up for Chris Pronger. 55 seconds. Laying on the power play. Pronger delivered in the center. And from this side of the red line, blasts it in. And it's icy. As Curtis Foster got back to touch up.
Well, it's been a tough couple of weeks, so we asked Peter Laviolette about what's going to happen tonight. We just said, hey, there's going to be a good hockey team tonight. We were a good hockey team on Sunday, and I had second responsibility there. So that was on me.
For that performance, and because of Coach Conley was still a little bit there, but bottom line is he had actually talked to us before the week had started. He said we might see some short-term problems with all those hard practices, but it's good for the long-term goal of the club.
I think it's kind of a one-and-out, get-out-of-jail-free card for the team. I mean, they can avoid having to answer questions about being embarrassed by the New York Rangers because their coach is falling on the sword, and I think that's a really good idea, but that's a one-and-out. Right, it's up to the Flyers as a team to perform in this hockey game because they had a day off yesterday.
Yeah, they got their day off. I'm going to show that will pay off. That cleared all the way down. And for one more rush with this Valley Battle, as Kino Timonen starts up. Get back, Richards. So Jones to clear, got it as far as Pronger. Pronger backhands, Jones knocks it down, bounces with the slot. Giroux tips to Carter. Carter stuffed it to the wall, but there's Jones again. And Jones turning with it. Carter tipping it away from him. Pronger continues with that long reach. Jabs it to Carter, but his pass for Giroux is broken up. Out of the box is Omar. And there he is getting the puck. Timonen quickly takes the puck. So back to full-strength hockey. We approach the 5-minute mark of this first period. Richards moving on in. He's on the brakes. And swings the puck to Giroux. Giroux out toward the line. And now flipping into the slot. Knocked down there is Hartnell. And the Oilers come up with a puck. Former Flyer Jim Vandermeer getting to center. He's swarmed upon there. Flyers get the puck free. Here's Richards. Richards looking, waiting, and then simply get through to Giroux. Back out Carl. Across it goes. One-timer Coburn wide. Skips all the way along to Richards. Send it toward the net. Off the skate and wide. Giroux is there to claim. The Flyers putting the pressure on now. Claude Giroux in the slot. Coburn shot in the stick. Save by Dubnyk. Oilers just trying to clear now, but Leno got in the way. He flings it to the slot. Vandermeer will pick that up, and finally Edmonton to center ice. Omar will lob one to the Philadelphia zone. That's going to shift all the way to Bobrovsky. Just pushes it away from Sam Gagner. Coburn will lift it out through center and down. It's knocked out there by Strudwick. Oilers still looking for their first shot on goal. Out there by Strudwick. Oilers still looking for their first shot on goal.
For the second goal.
There's that 3. Now around the other side of the ice. Reno. Check. It's a foot and fires to move it around to Sean O'Donnell. His pass intercepted. Adriano has a quick shot. Because the redirection was Alexander Giroux. May have gotten a stick on it, but it went wide.
I think the Flyers might want to get this first shot against out of the way because Edmonton scored on their first shot of each period against Colorado in their game that they won Saturday night. So get that first one out of the way in this one.
He's going to work in the offensive zone for now. Briere stops, centers for Stieg. With that shot was blocked aside. Started then dumped for Stieg. And play carries on. Redditz with a pass to Cogliano trying to cut in. Kyle cut him off. And his pass readily is tipped high in the air and grabbed by Bobrovsky. And he's getting all kinds of time by the officials to keep the puck in play. Finally he does. There's Matt Kyle.
So much for the fair catch.
Exactly. He was ready for the whistle. The referees said, play on. And so they do. The Oilers getting it back around to Tom Gilbert. Avoids most of the check attempt from Dan Carcillo and Carcillo stepped into play with a lot of energy here. Richards moving on in, but he's checked. And the Oilers a chance in transition now. Horkoff with the right wing feed to Schmid. Schmid the defenseman up on the rush. Just moves it across ice. Quite sure what he had in mind there. I believe he thought how long behind the net. Conger trying to work on Horkoff. He centers it. Gilbert couldn't get there as Richards intercepted. And Richards slowly to center. And they'll flip the puck in as the Flyers will change. Half minutes in now to this first period. Harvey behind his own net. Harvey regarded. He spoke he talked about in the open. This team, for the fourth youngest, they were the youngest team in the league for most of the year. But after the trade deadline, some of the other teams got young. Now they're the fourth youngest, but still a lot of promising players. No score here early on.
Everybody likes to get a good start at the beginning of the season.
Final.
Everybody likes to get a good start at the beginning of the season. How about Jordan Eberle? Number 1 pick of the Edmonton Oilers 2008. 15 goals this year, 50 last year was fine. But this is what happened in the first game of the year against Calgary. Watch this move. Little draw, brings it up to the outside, then comes with the backhand, and
for the NHL. Here's Jeff Carter. Knocking the puck around. Now we go across ice. Gonzalez lays into that shot, but it was blocked by Jacques. Puck back out to center. Gonzalez after it there. Giroux. Bumped by Schmid, still able to control the puck. Larry Giroux stopping on it down, trying to get away from the far prospect. For change. Loose puck. And the save made by Dubnyk. Fortuitous bounce for the Flyers, but later denied by the Edmonton goaltender. Question for tonight: what current Flyer player recorded the first ever successful penalty shot goal in a Stanley Cup final game? There are your choices. Christopher Stieg, Daddy Briere, Chris Pronger.
You know this one?
I do not, and I should.
Oh, come on.
You look at me like you don't know either.
I don't.
Coatsy knows.
Coatsy, you know.
Coatsy knows.
I have no clue.
All right. If anybody
We will give you the answer later on.
Anybody thinks we get sneak previews of these questions and answers, they're wrong.
I now have an idea.
It's the first time we've ever had a hard trivia question.
There's a long stretch pass on the money to Briere. Cutting it on goal. He's got. There's a long stretch pass.
It's the first time we've ever had a hard trivia question.
There's a long stretch pass on the money to Briere. Cutting it on goal. He's got.
That for Danny Briere. Here's Briere. Danny Briere makes it 2-0 Flyers. What a sound of the crowd. It was loud of the Stanley Cup final.
And it has only taken a matter of minutes for this
Listen to that crowd cheer.
line to repay the coach Peter Laviolette for his loyalty to them, keeping them together. Danny Briere finding the seam perfectly, and then Dubnyk with no chance at all. Such a quick release and a great snapshot.
That's his shot. That's what he wants to be able to do. To go top shelf over the left shoulder of the goalie, being a right-hand shot. And despite Dubnyk being 6'6" and still being pretty big when he goes down into the butterfly, that didn't bother Danny Briere. What a great pass, too.
It has only taken a matter of minutes
Here comes his challenge.
for this line to repay the coach Peter Laviolette for his loyalty to them.
Challenge. Fire to the goal.
Keeping them together, Danny Briere finding the seam perfectly, and then Dubnyk with no chance at all. Such a quick release and a great snapshot.
That's his shot. That's what he loves to be able to do. To go top shelf over the left shoulder of the goalie, being a right-hand shot. And despite Dubnyk being 6'6" and still being pretty big when he goes down into the butterfly, that didn't bother Danny Briere. What a great pass, too.
Matt Powell swinging in.
And it's 1-0 Wheels. Forward for a case of face-to-face.
And it has only taken a matter of minutes for this line to repay the coach Peter Laviolette for his loyalty to them, keeping them together. Danny Briere finding the seam perfectly, and then line to repay the coach Peter Laviolette for his loyalty to them, keeping them together. Danny Briere finding the seam perfectly, and then Dubnyk with no chance at all. Such a quick release and a great snap.
Video view. There was a little bit of interference. And then comes a challenge. Therefore, no goal.
And it has only taken a matter of minutes for this line to repay the coach Peter Laviolette for his loyalty to them, keeping them together. Danny Briere finding the seam perfectly, and then Dubnyk with no chance at all. Such a quick release and a great snapshot.
That's his shot. That's what he loves to be able to do. To go top shelf over the left shoulder of the goalie, being a right-hand shot. And despite Dubnyk being 6'6" and still being pretty big when he goes down into the butterfly, that didn't bother Danny Briere. What a great pass, too.
Matt Powell swinging in.
Great pass, too.
Matt Powell.
That didn't bother Danny Briere. What a great pass, too.
Matt Powell swinging in. They're also getting an assist. Powell.
That didn't bother Danny Briere. What a great pass, too.
Matt Powell swinging in.
Briere, what a great pass, too.
Matt Powell.
That didn't bother Danny.
Muskega. You know, the gun prospect to move it ahead. And now got to get out the line. Silver skated the puck. Back the other way. Goes Wim Reddix to the Philadelphia line. Reddix to the backhand, denied by Timoney. So the puck will slide through. Krispy Speed back in his own zone. And move it ahead. Timoney there. He'll bank it for Richards in the neutral zone. And Richards will get to the red line and just follow him as the Flyers need to change lines. One of the things that Peter Laviolette expected from his troops in this game was better backside pressure, good back checking, and making sure that the Flyers defensemen could stand up at the blue line knowing that they had help coming back. And right now, everybody's on the game plan.
Where bets out with Powell and Jody Shelley for this shift. And that's the one-handed backdoor down. Across as he goes to Mazaris. Now it's Shelley again. And they wind it into the Edmonton zone. Edmonton back. Costa got it as far as Shelley. Now Shelley back into the corner. Powell kept it alive. Betts back out. O'Donnell across. The shot deflected, but it went wide. Shelley got his stick on, but the puck missing the target. The original shot. Now here's O'Donnell. Try to keep that in the zone. Could not, but Kong goes back. To take the puck. He finds Powell. It's back to O'Donnell as he pulled that pass to him. And the Flyers will move that out to the neutral zone. And now Giroux stealing. Giroux all by himself for a wait as the Flyers are changing. And he ready to line up. He finds Carter for the shot. Save Dubnyk. And he hangs on. Great setup by Giroux. Carter denied by Dubnyk, but Danny Briere was not. He beat them in goals on the Flyers.
So Danny Briere has given the Flyers a 1-0 lead and a great
NHL marks the
That was a no in behind.
He's battling for the puck.
Then to get his momentum going, Ben stepped into the big scene so that he could have some speed going the other way. I mean, offensive talent that's hard to teach.
He's battling for the puck. James Van Riemsdyk trying to fight off Sean Horcoff. A really good job. JVR still in control all the way out toward the line. Turns with it and just flings one. It goes wide as Carter is trying to redirect. Jarvianic put it all the way through center. Here's Van Riemsdyk and he'll bank it out to center. Gilbert turned it over to Carl, and now Carter. Drop pass. Giroux in the middle. Pronger. Wrist shot deflected by Carter. Dubnyk lays down, and he's on top of the puck. Well, they moved it around pretty smartly there.
I thought Carter was going to have an absolute perfect redirection there because the passing was spectacular. But watch Dubnyk. He's going to just lay right across. Now watch Carter. Goes to the net, watch the stick. He just redirected it, but he redirected it right into the pads of Dubnyk.
Pretty good quickness, too, for a guy that's 6'6". That's how tall Devin Dubnyk is. And as long as he doesn't get carried away and end up out of position, he's going to end up getting a chunk of a lot of the shots that come his way, and he's been really good for Edmonton recently.
A lot of playing time. Nikolai Hobby-Bowen backing up. Expected to start the next game for the Oilers, but he's been out. He placed chip, get up in his eye and irritated, caused a problem. Briere with a shot that goes wide. Leno around behind the net. Briere settling, trying to slide that in front, but it came back at him. Pinching Mazaris, got it past him. Leno's over, momentarily kept it in, and now play is stopped. And the puck was hit with a high stick. And so the face-off back in the Edmonton zone.
Well, JJ, you mentioned that Edmonton is now, the fourth youngest team in the NHL?
Yeah.
If you didn't know that they were that young, all you'd have to do is take a look at a list of their names and check out first names like Devin and Liam and Linus, right? And then you'd know this is a young team.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Jordan, yeah, you're right. I've never used that as a barometer, but I will from now on. That's a good idea.
I don't know. Mike's and Chris's and
over 18
teams.
There's to the puck here with speed is Richards. He gets around Jones. Richards cutting in. The shot and the save by Dubnyk. Goes right back out. They've now outshot the Oilers 11-0. That puck just out to center, they say, before Timonen fired, so offside.
And we want to remind everybody that next season's full and partial ticket packages are on sale right now, and season ticket holders receive all kinds of benefits, including discounts from box office pricing, playoff priority, flexible payment plans, so you can reserve yours now, 215-218-PUCK, or just visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
7:28 to go here in the first period. Though so far, the Sir Peter Laviolette happy with the response, out shooting the Oilers 11-0, playing their system, the Flyers pretty well.
Okay. I think the support in the offensive zone is one thing he was looking for. I mean, Flyers are leaving one guy alone in the corner, waiting for him to win battles and get the puck to them. Now they're supporting one another. They're at least doing that in the first period.
Betts gains the line with speed, slides it backhander wide behind the net. Sully around the other side of the ice. There's Powell. Turns with it. Oh, he's drilled into the boards. That's a penalty. Look out. Schmid Drilling power, and now Mazzaros will come in. And the Flyers will try to come to the aid of their fallen player who is still on all fours.
And Ladislav Schmid, I think, is actually reaching in, trying to help Darryl Powell up. I mean, he looked remorseful the moment that he hit him.
He did. And that's why I think the Flyers, they got there in the scene, but they didn't do a whole lot once they got there.
And they could use the power play, so the crowd here is booing, and everybody hopes that Darryl Powell is okay. Unless Ladislav Schmid is the best actor in the world, this is not the outcome that he wanted, with Darryl Powell going face first into the boards.
And I was paying attention to Steve McIntyre and Jody Shelley because they were two heavyweights on the ice at the same time. Let's take a look at this. I can see Schmid's going to be able to come in, and that's absolutely prototypical boarding. You don't hit a guy from behind when he's square like that to the boards about 2 feet away. You got nothing but possible concussion, separated shoulder, you name it. That's just a dangerous play.
You know what, Coachy? I agree 100%. And now looking at the replay, I wonder exactly what Ladislav Schmid expected to happen there.
Yeah.
You hit a guy right on the numbers like that, and it's a 5-minute boarding penalty.
Yes. You can be remorseful.
So, yeah, exactly. I'll stand by the fact that he looked remorseful, but seeing that replay, what did he expect?
I did expect in the replay to think that maybe Powell turned his last bit of the I agree, yeah. So, huge opportunity here for the Flyers. Should Powell be okay? They'll take this. A 5-minute power play and a chance to add to their 1-0 lead as Jimmy Clausen talks things over with Powell. Giroux. That with Richards and Carter. And then Powell on the points. Richards getting that puck in. Giroux is checked. Flyers do, though. Still get to it. There's Carter. They get set up. That pass was intercepted by Andrew Carter. One area of the Flyers power play that coaching staff talked about all year is just that passion for the puck. Flyers sometimes, once they get the power play, because they have more players, they just think the puck's going to come to them. You have to continue to have that passion for the puck or you won't get anything done.
And Jimmy, I think you fall into that trap even more so with a 5-minute major.
Exactly.
You know, you got to go out there with the mentality that they've got a 1-minute power play. Think of it as 5 consecutive 1-minute power plays. You got enough players that know how to play.
He sends it in. This is where they have to show that hustle for the puck. The Steve does a good job getting his stick on it. Flyers try to turn that back to the point. Guerrero's pass, though, ends up on the stick of Gagne going the other way. He crisscrosses. He can drag move on the Mazzaros, but he lost control to the corner, and the Flyers get it back. But already over a minute has gone by on the 5-minute major, and the Flyers have yet to get a puck toward Dubnik. And now they're settling things in, or they're making some changes, and the crowd getting restless. Joey Leno weaving his way towards center and then dropping it off. Briere penetrates the zone, gives to Hartnell, right back for Briere. Return with it, 2 Oilers to him. Hartnell back around for Danny. He's checked, but Hartnell has it. Hartnell dropping it along the wall to Briere. Hartnell will head to the crease in the net area there to try to cause trouble. There's Leno all the way across the shot. Dubnyk robs Mazzaros. David Dubnyk flashing some leather to deny Andre Mazzaros, and it's still a 1-0 game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Devin Dubnyk, for most of his young career, has been Mr. Backup. He sure looks like a starter on this play. Mazzaros didn't get all of it, though, did he, Coachy?
No, he actually kind of flubbed it just a little bit. That's a tough play to be able to pass him all the way across. And then he's trying to let the one-timer go. He looks very frustrated there. And that allowed Dubnyk to be able to make a pretty good glove save. And then Dubnyk added a little bit too. You know how those goalies like to be able to give that little, like, hey, I got this. And did I get a lot on it?
I'm not sure they usually show that much on a flip shot like that, but he certainly did. Pulled us up here, eh, Bill? We're with him. Here's Richards with the pass to Van Riemsdyk. Centering, loose puck, jet for, and Dubnyk gets the big glove on top of it to get the whistle. Mazzaros was in there again.
The Statue of Liberty that a lot of goaltenders love to show. At 6'6", that would be a tall torch for Devin Dubnyk. Nice little saucer pass by Billy Leno, and you could see that it did flip up on the stick of Andre Mazzaros. I'll still give Dubnyk credit for being well positioned with his glove turned and opened and ready.
He really was ready. He should have gotten everything on that. Teeman in a shot. Save Dubnyk. Rebound sitting right there. Flyers could not get to it. The Oilers, however, cannot clear. Fraser played it right to Teeman. Now Richards Away across, looking for Versteeg, and kind of sticks to get through. Versteeg does well just to tie the Oilers up and keep the puck alive. Back to Timonen it goes. Timonen to Van Riemsdyk. Waits, hold, shot! And the shoulder save made by Dubnyk. That's Lazarus. Back to Van Riemsdyk. He's mashed on the wall by Gilbert. A chance to clear for Vandermeer. He got it as far as Timonen just over it over the line. 2:20 remaining in the major. For a slow start, the Flyers now getting pressure, but Dubnyk has been the problem. Briere pivots. And across the line. Shuffles it off for Carter. Carter tried to center. It's blocked. He gets it back around behind the net. And now Giroux. Right back to Carter. Carl will go across ice. Giroux accepting that pass. Carter goes in front of the net. Giroux with a pass. Briere. Darts, holds, cross ice. And Giroux could not spot that in time. And 50 on the power play time. Carl's pass off the skate out to center ice.
So many times, so close. That pass for Giroux just nicked the skate of Andrew Cogliano. Otherwise, he was in cold.
Carl chip one in. He's going to chase himself. Strudwick is there. They wind up in blast. Now you got a piece of it. Good job there by Carter to keep it in. Got it to the corner. Carl tried to tuck it lower for Briere. Spin it back along the dasher. Over comes Pronger. Pronger in along. Briere holds, waits, and then goes back around the boards out to Pronger. He's passed to Giroux. Giroux for Briere. Briere into the slot, but it was behind Carter. And Carl, maybe the back door was checked. Now Briere has it again. He's checked puck up the wall. Giroux keeps it in. Banks it to Briere, and now it's Carter. Carter turned back, circles, holds, back out. Pronger couldn't unload on the one-timer there. They flip the puck in for Carl. Carl has a look back out to Pronger. No shooting lane, gives to Giroux. Giroux on the goal line, Briere. Time down to 45 seconds in the power play. There's Carl. To Briere. One-timer goes wide. Carl will get to it. Back around for Giroux. He finds Briere. Good puck movement here. Briere knifing his way toward the slot is checked. Giroux picks it up, turns his pass, deflected by Horkoff, kept in by Pronger. Pronger holding on to it, gives to Carl. And now it's Giroux. Giroux turned back. Nice Briere. Briere in front. Tipped, they score! Jeff Carter tips it home. And knifing his way toward the slot is checked. Giroux picks it up, turns his pass, deflected by Horkoff, kept in by Pronger. Pronger picks it up, turns his pass, deflected by Horkoff, kept in by Pronger. Pronger holding on, turns his pass, deflected by Horkoff, kept in by Pronger. Pronger holding on to it, gives to Carl. And now it's Giroux. Giroux, turned back. Nice Briere. Briere in front! It was still loose at the... Carcillo gets the Versteeg, out to Timonen. Timo will take the shot. Deflection save. Carcillo digging away at the rebound. Still loose at the paint. And finally, it's taken out of harm's way by Liam Reddick. Oh, the Flyers had a ton of chances at that loose puck. Reddick's got the other way to the play is offside at the Philadelphia line. The power play is over. The Flyers cash in once. So Jeff Carter now on the board. He's back tied with Danny Briere. In once. So Jeff Carter now on the board. He's back tied with Danny Briere for the team lead with 29 goals. 2-0 Flyers.
1 goal.
2-0 Flyers, and still goose eggs and shots. No goose eggs. Shots for the Edmonton Oilers. 16-0. The Flyers shot advantage. 24/7 Flyer fans get more with CSNPhilly.com. Flyers insider Tim Panaccio, using more than 20 years of experience to give you total Flyers coverage at home and on the road experience. Flyers insider Tim Panaccio only on CSNPhilly.com.
The two heavyweights that Coach was talking about, McIntyre out there against Jody Shelley. So let us know how it looks from where you are.
See, yeah. If you don't mind, if anywhere within 15 feet, I look the other way.
Penalty here on Philadelphia. Sean O'Donnell had lost control of the puck in front of his own net when he grabbed a hold of Colin Fraser. So O'Donnell will take a seat. Edmonton gets its second power play.
Got a little bit of trouble controlling the puck, and Sean O'Donnell didn't have much choice but to try to do whatever he could to throw Fraser off. So now the Oilers will get a chance to get their first shot of this game on a power play. And I know that Peter Laviolette has to be happy that the Flyers are up 2-0, but I wouldn't be surprised if he said he was even happier at the fact that the Flyers have been as good as they've been defensively.
Still, a goal here in this power play by the Oilers would really spoil the party here in this first period. Moving in here, Gagne in front. That one tipped, never made it a goal. Then it was swatted wide by Cagliano. And Gagne, although he's been in the league forever, he's still only 21 years of age. Back to the point he goes. That shot fought out by Bobrovsky. His first save of the game came on that shot by Foster. Back out it goes Omar. Minus Omar to Cagliano. Cagliano's cross-ice pass tipped. And it goes off the stick into the crowd.
Well, the playoffs are just around the corner, and really the only way to guarantee seats to the most exciting hockey of the year is to call now and reserve club box seats. You can watch Flyers playoff hockey from a premium lower level seat. Call right now, 215-389-9500. Make sure you don't miss this opportunity. The operators are waiting for your call right now.
Flyers has to move up in the short end rush. Couldn't get out of the zone, but Coburn does. Bunted out to the neutral zone. 55 seconds remaining in the period. 30 seconds more than that on the power play. Harvey in. Wheels it around. Mazar's got his stick on it. Moves it ahead for Giroux. The Flyers will move up. Richards starting up the left wing, takes the pass. And across the line. He is checked by Giroux. That's Alexander Giroux. No relation.
Now, Giroux's are like Johnson's in Quebec.
That's correct. This one can score at the minor league level. 110 goals the last 2 seasons. Another good year this year. He's called up. Scored in his first game with the Oilers. I don't know. 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Strange hop off the stanchion, but the Flyers are ready for it. Richards waiting. And now hitting a late breaking Timonen. And across the line, Timonen to the slot, to the backhand. And the save made by Dubnyk. Timonen had a short-handed goal for his 100th career tally. Last game here at the Wells Fargo Center. Nearly had himself another short-handed goal. Jones after it will set it off the side of the net as time runs out on period number 1. Dubnyk much busier. Faced 17 shots. Bobrovsky just 1. Flyers with a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. Tonight's Flyers Oilers first period was brought to you by McDonald's. Get a small premium roast coffee for only 89 cents. McDonald's on to you by By our Bears online only at goal and an assist. Great assist you made on
Schneid as we play the intermission report. Flyers up 60-foot launch breakout. Score back and keep,
Each with 29. If anything, the Flyers should have sore arms with all of the shots they launched in the first period. Check this out. The Flyers attempted 34 shots to the Oilers 3. Some of those shots went wide, some were blocked, but 17 of them made it on goal on Devin Dubnyk. And now the challenge is to continue with the same emotion and pace. The last time I checked, you don't get any points in the standings for being ahead at the end of 1.
On Saturday against Buffalo, the Flyers had a 2-0 lead early, and it evaporated quickly in the second period. So they've been here before, and they had a guard against the same thing happening. They begin shorthanded. Donald serving out his high sticking minor. 12 seconds remaining on that is Gilbert, who's out from behind his own net. Sean Horkoff, his pass forever was tipped away by Pronger. Back by Biardi. Biardi will drift back into his own zone. As he does, O'Donnell leaves the penalty box. Flyers back to full strength.
Flyers sure spread the wealth in the first period. 12 different players had at least one shot on goal. 7 of the 17 shots came from defensemen, so a lot of players in on the offensive act.
Flyers having trouble getting control of the puck here. Biardi flip it across ice. Schmid off the wall with it. Checked by Betts, but got right through that checking. Tried to set her, and Pronger was there. His pass ahead could not be handled by Carcillo. Put back into Philadelphia ice as both teams will make some player changes. So 1 minute into this second period. Glad you could join us here on Comcast Sportsnet. Flyers and Oilers, their first and only meeting of the season. Oilers unbeaten in their last 7 games against the Flyers, and that covers almost a decade. His last win against Edmonton all the way back on March the 19th of 2001. Cagliano with a shot off the glove of Bobrovsky. And then they're trying to get it back, but the Flyers have it instead. Here's Richards, and he just got a flood of that one out to the neutral zone. Knocked down by Vandermeer. Get it back to the Philadelphia zone. Reddick jumps out at his pass to Cagliano for the shot. Save Bobrovsky. I tell you, early on, the Oilers looked like the team with a jump here in the second period. Vandermeer, a shot, and that's deflected away by Carcillo. And out of play it goes. The Flyers and Lehigh Valley Dairy would like to thank the fans in Section 222.
There's no question the Edmonton Oilers have come out with more jump. Doubled their shot total already from the first period.
Right.
They had 1 in the first period. They've got 2 in this period.
Doubled it in this period and tripled it for the game. Yeah, just like that. But they have come out and looked as though they're going to go on the attack more. A team that clearly has nothing to lose. Their last place in the West, but they've been playing some good hockey here of late despite losing some key players to injury. Sam Gagner going off a body down low. Now here's Timonen. Timo Timonen taking it ahead. Leno could not do much with that one off of him to Strudwick. Breaking his stick on that play was Foster, but the Flyers got the puck and turned it right back over to Gagner.
Then he has a puck pass to him with no stick. You don't think he's yelling no stick, no stick?
And Leno ends up with it, centered it, and nearly found Briere. Here's Coburn. With the pass, turning Leno, the shot blocked. Rebound back to Billy. Holds on to it. Always looking and trying to find the open man. Wheeling to Coburn. That's Briere. They're looking in the middle. Throws it all the way out to the high slot. Reaches to Coburn, who takes the shot, and it goes high and wide. Leno will hustle over to keep it in the zone, right at the line. Leno, little head fake to the slot. Got some room. Gets to Coburn with a shot. Dubnyk, the awkward save. And then Donald could not keep it in, but now without a stick is Jones. He had given his stick away. And now it's picked up by the Oilers anyhow as Gagner moves in. What a weird sequence that was.
Well, it was Foster who didn't have a stick, so then Foster finally got a stick from Jones. Foster got the puck. He didn't have a stick, so he was dead in the water. And then next thing you know, it came to Jones, and you guys were all out because he didn't have a stick either.
Yeah, they fouled the player. Didn't have the hockey stick. Schmid dumps into the Philadelphia zone, and the play is offside. They face it off in the neutral zone.
And it would have been really interesting to see once Jones handed off his stick to Foster what would have happened had Foster ended up with the puck because his stick blade was curved the wrong way. That's what happens. Any stick is better than no stick when you're a defenseman trying to defend in front, and that's why forwards, regardless of whether they shoot the same way, will hand off the stick. It's a little awkward though when it's curved the wrong way. Not much of a slapper for that kind of stick.
No, mostly used for poke checking at that point, right?
Right.
Flyers to the puck here. Mazzar's charging up through the neutral zone. Gives to Carter. Carter leading it back. Mazzar's blocked second try. Knocked down as well. As Giroux ended up and that one hit him up high. Now Van Riemsdyk surging to the puck. Turned it in front. And Giroux just couldn't get his stick on that as it had a vapor trail on it. And the Oilers will play it back down the ice.
The curve of the stick wouldn't have mattered to Eddie Van Impe as long as he still had the ability to slash.
And he might have thrown the odd spear in there as well, right?
Yeah.
There's a chip pass for Giroux.
I hope Eddie's watching.
Riemsdyk for Carter. Carter back around. Giroux check could not get that puck out. Everly jumps on it. Jordan Everly to center ice. And the red line will bounce it in. Rossi lets that one go. Orkoff went and got it. Pronger goes and gets him. And calmly knocks the puck away. And then Richard a big chop at it. Got it in the air. And then Pronger batted it out to the neutral zone. Vandermeer from the red line will wind it right back in. Timonen for Van Riemsdyk. And he furthers it to the neutral zone and sent right back in by Alex Platt. Just recalled due to some of the injuries, playing in his second game this season. And sixth NHL game overall. Pronger finds Versteeg. Versteeg, a nice move in across the line, but they say Richards with
a visit Philadelphia.
Events when they've been putting the banners away, the Ashby family and Bernie Perrant and Bob Clark have been outstanding. Here's Alexander Giroux trying to score. He sent it in front and it was batted away and then swatted out of harm's way after the hit off Mazaros in front. Richards check. Well, he's really picked up the forechecking tempo. Alexander Giroux to the round behind. Tagliano wins the battle. Got the puck back to Giroux. His cross-side. Fast Strudwick got his stick on it. He was able to tip it. Change, but Versteeg has it now and he'll chip it to center, and then it's batted along by Richards. So the Flyers will change lines. Long pass. Omar. Here's Strudwick. And then all the way down. This will be icy if Timonen gets there. Change lines. Long pass. Omar. Here's Strudwick. All the way down. This will be icy if Timonen gets there. Ross. Change lines. Long pass.
Here's Montour. goal. Here's Giroux. Giroux. Second goal of Game 6. And fifth goal for the Stanley Cup Final.
Long enough times to know that the Oilers are going to come with a push this period. A little bit of help here for Bobrovsky by Andrew Mazaris. Okay, I'm going to make that a whole bunch of help because Andrew Cogliano was next to the puck if Mazaris didn't clear that.
Looks like he had a lot of help to punch it into. Yeah, really well in the goal-saving play by Mazaris. There's going the Oilers again. Runs across ice. Conley couldn't handle it cleanly, so the play is whistled down on the offside.
So this is just another mini challenge for a really good hockey team is knowing that they get outclassed and outplayed and outplayed by 17-1. Another chance to go good.
They are cheering.
Brace yourself for that big push at the start of the second. You know it's coming.
A cloud.
The Flyers have had
Under
a real problem in the third period.
Wells Fargo said
this slump they've been in, so they know that they really can't have any lead too big right now. I'm trying to push forward as opposed to sitting back. Hogan lining this one in. David shot. Really shallow to the puck. Back out to the point. Now, wrist shot. Held down by Schmid. And maneuver to the wall and then played out by Ryan Jones. Go back, looking for Kyle. Made a nice pass on the rear goal. This time he was crosses. Looking for Kyle. Bounces past him with an icing. And it is icing, although Kyle thought he got to the puck.
Well, let's take a look at it.
But that make it all work. Yeah, nice.
I have a book coming out.
My hand from the Oilers is that we have 5 fingers on each. That's it.
His hands went the right. That Carl's going to get. Well, let's take a look.
Nicely. His pass on the rear goal. This time he was crosses. Looking for Kyle. Bounces past him with an icing. Rear goal. This time he was crosses. Looking for Kyle. Bounces past him with an icing. And it is icing, although Kyle thought he got
Stanley Cup final goal for Jared Smithson. And the Flyers are within 1.
It is icing, although Kyle thought he got to the puck.
Well, let's take a look at Taco Bell value play of the game. He was a Danny. Now, you're going to watch the pass that Matt Carl's going to give. Danny Briere, there he is. All the way up to the far blue line. Now, you heard Briere saying, well, he's going to go 5-hole, but right in the last second, my hands went the other way. Well, those hands went the right way. Top shelf, and that gave the Flyers the 1-0 lead. That's our Taco Bell value play of the game.
I'm sure you and Bill can relate to having hands like that. You can change them in an instant like 30.
There it is. All the way up to the far blue line. Now, you heard Briere saying, well, he's going to go 5-0, but right in the last second, my hands went. Well, those hands went the right way. Top shelf, and that gave the Flyers the 1-0 lead. That's our Taco Bell value play of the game.
I'm sure you and Bill can relate to having hands like that.
Game.
Offside.
That gave the Flyers the 1-0 way. Well, those hands went. You heard Briere saying, well, he's going to go 5-0, but right in the last second, my hands went the other way. Well, those hands went the right way. Top shelf, and that gave the Flyers the 1-0 lead. That's our Taco Bell value play of the game. And that gave the Flyers the 1-0 lead. That's our Taco Bell value play of the game.
I'm sure you and Bill can relate to having hands like
Well, he's going to go 5-0, but right in the last second, value play of the game.
icing, although Powell thought he got to the puck.
Well, let's take a look at our Taco Bell value play of the game, and it was a Danny. Now, you're going to watch the pass that Matt Carl's going to give. Danny Briere, there it is. All the way up to the far blue line. Now, You heard Briere say, well, I was going to go 5-hole, but right in the last second, my hands went the other way. Well, those hands went the right way. Top shelf. And that gave the Flyers the 1-0 lead. That's our Taco Bell value play of the game.
I'm sure you and Bill can relate to having hands like that. You can change them in an instant. Like, I'm sure you and Bill can relate to having hands like that. You can change them in an instant.
He is surpassed
Like that and make it all work.
the Flyers.
Having hands like that, you can change them in an instant like that and make it all work.
The number one.
The eye of the book coming out.
All-time goal scorer ever.
The stick handle with handcuffs on.
Yeah, any similarity between my hands and
Play of the game. And that gave the Flyers the 1-0 lead. That's our Taco Bell value play of the game.
It's an obligatory goal.
Five-hole, but right in the last second, my hands went the other way. Well, those hands went the right way. Top shelf. And that gave the Flyers the eye of
Late to having hands like that. You can change them in an instant like that and make it all work.
the eye of the book coming
Still
out.
leading.
The stick handle with handcuffs on.
yeah, any similarity between my hands and Briere's is that we have
Tarascon. Well,
players that play this sport on the planet that can change their mind or only make up their mind when they get into the hash marks about what they want to do. That's how good he is.
Dubnyk hangs onto the puck. Still 2-0 Flyers.
Still 2-0.
2-0 here. Thanks, JJ.
Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final.
2-0 here. Let's get an update on
25th
games
anniversary
happening
of the Stanley Cup Final, 1987.
on the National Hockey League. Here's John Bohr.
Thanks, JJ. Pens and Sabres. Pittsburgh started the night 2 points behind the Flyers. Buffalo occupying that 8th seed, tied at 1. Started the night 2. Thanks, JJ. Pens and Sabres. Pittsburgh started the night 2 points behind the Flyers. Buffalo occupying that 8th seed, tied at 1. They go up top. Savina occupying the alley from the point. Finds Twine. Not a bad time for his first of the season. Gives Pittsburgh a 2-1 lead over the Sabres.
20 goals in the playoffs.
First of the season gives Pittsburgh a 2-1 lead.
Penguins somehow, Bill, surviving without Sidney and getting off.
They got Chris
Somehow, Bill, surviving without Sidney and getting off.
They got Chris Kunis back tonight.
There's Timoney in front, Connors slam! And getting off.
They got Chris Kunis back tonight.
There's Timoney in front, Connors!
There's the natural hat trick are raining in the ice for Game 6. Conqueror, goal number 12 in the final. The Flyers extending the lead to 3-0. Game 6.
That is like a 2-inch tap in.
And 2000 Stanley Cup Final against the Devils
On a golf course. That is like a 2-inch tap in on a golf course.
for 6 in a nutshell.
Jeff Carter, right off the faceoff though. Everybody with a chunk of help here. That is like a 2-inch tap in on a golf course for Jeff Carter. Right off the faceoff though. Everybody with a chunk of help here. I mean, Timo Timonen, you got to know that this was a set play. I mean, once James Van Riemsdyk got the puck, he was looking for Timo Timonen in that seam, and he found him and nailed him. And then Timonen just everything on a golf course for Jeff Carter. Right off the faceoff, though. Everybody with a chunk of help here. I mean, Timo Timonen off the faceoff, though. Everybody with a chunk of help here. I mean, Timo Timonen, you got to know that this was a set play. I mean, once James Van Riemsdyk got the puck, he was looking for Timo Timonen in that seam, and he found him and nailed him. And then Timonen just dished to Jeff Carter.
Well, the face-off is so important. And Jimmy Vandermeer,
the second half of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Very much like the pass that Greer gave to Carter on the second zone of fire. He just threw the defenseman towards him, and then all of a sudden, Carter's all by himself.
Carter takes the first flyer to hit 30 goals on the season. Flyers trying to get back, but Timonen snuffs that out. Timonen then upended behind the net. Usyk trying to chip that ahead and did to Carter. Jeff Carter with the puck is past the Giroux, but play is offside at the Edmonton line. Timonen and Van Riemsdyk the assist.
But after a hat trick, 6 playoff,
30th
goals in the Stanley Cup final.
2-goal game.
Jeff Carter's having one of those nights where he now knows if he didn't after the first period, just hang out near the paint. Something good's going to happen.
Well, we always talk about him having a great shot, and he does. I mean, he's one of the great shooters in the National Hockey. It just shows you, I mean, he does a great job, and he doesn't get enough recognition for the work he does do down low.
Lost about 10 pounds, suffering from the flu, and today he's under 200 pounds.
Where he now knows.
Riemsdyk the assist is offside at the Carter. Jeff Carter with the puck is back to Giroux, but play is offside at the Edmonton line.
Shooting and scores. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And the shout is over. 3-1 Flyers lead.
Timonen and Van Riemsdyk the assist. Jeff Carter's 30th goal of the season, his 29th career 2-goal game.
Jeff Carter's having one of those nights where he now knows if he didn't after the first period, just hang out near the paint. Something good's going to happen.
Well, we always talk about him having a great shot, and he does. I mean, he's one of the great shooters in the National Hockey. It just shows you, I mean, he does a great job, and he doesn't get enough recognition for the work he does do down low. I mean, he does a great job, and he doesn't get enough recognition for the work he does do down low.
Lost about 10 pounds, suffering from the flu. He's under 200 pounds for the first time in a while. He likes the...
Is Yarmir Yager.
He's got himself a couple goals, but...
On chance, got it in by Mr. Yarmir Yager! 13 seconds after the goal by the Oilers by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. The finalist, Yarmir Yager, gets his third goal of the final. 4-1 Philly.
Yeah, shot on the doorstep, redirects it past Bobrovsky. And just like that, the Oilers are backward into its group. Suffering from the flu, and today he's under 200 pounds for the first time.
One, two, get to the point.
The work he does do down low.
3 goals and 1 assist. 3-goal period.
Lost about 10 pounds.
Shooters in the National Hockey. It just shows you, I mean, he does a great job, and he doesn't get enough recognition for the work he does do down low.
Lost about 10 pounds.
And if the Flyers get their 5th goal of the game in the second period,
he's under 200 pounds for the first time in a while.
Yarmir Yager.
He likes the lighter weight. He's got himself a couple goals, but
in the final,
check their deflection score.
Flyers.
He's got himself a couple goals, but the check their deflection score again.
Yarmir Yager once again. It's 5-1 Flyers.
He's under 200 pounds for the first time in a while. Maybe he likes the lighter weight. He's got himself a couple goals, but the check their deflection score.
And the Oilers respond. JF shot. I mean, I think I heard post as well. Yeah, it went off the near side post. Nice play by Ladislav Schmid. He's just launching a deflectable shot.
Yeah, you can't defend against that play. And, you know, that's I don't know how many times that you've seen the opposing team score immediately after the Flyers score. Boy, they've had a real tough time with that in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, here of late, for sure. This one comes just 50.
Score immediately after the Flyers score. Boy, they've had a real tough time with that in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, here of late, for sure. This one comes just 55 seconds after the goal by Carter. So this is an important part of the game right here. The Oilers are on the board, and Flyers remain the only team in the NHL with a shutout this year.
Both on the board.
Number is Powell. Looking for Betts, but that's tipped away.
But now it's
kept in at the point by Pronger. And we'll roll it along. Gilbert will chase it down as Betts goes after it. Jody Shelley picks up the battle. Tough push to the slot. The right-shirted Oilers are on it. Schmid moves the red line. Got it as far as Pronger. Again, uses that reach, knocks the puck down. And blasts one down and we're off the power stick before being set up by Dubnik. Long stretch pass for Jacques, but he's denied by Coburn. Vandermeer has it back for Edmonton. And he'll blast that one. It's gloved by Bobrovsky. We approach the midpoint of regulation time. 3-1. Flyers with the lead. Carter 2 and Briere 1. And a shot. It's down over the Oilers. The speed off the wall. It's centered it. Richards trying to chop away. Could not get much anything going on. That is Gagne now steamrolls back the other way. And Gagne flipping it. Vanderbilt tried to get his stick out of it. Coburn was there to nullify. And now Carcillo off a body to the neutral zone. And slide across and Strudwick winding it into Philadelphia ice. Omar will pitch it along the wall. And Jones comes up with it. Jones back out. Strudwick shot wide of everything. A good margin. Carcillo gets to the puck. His long outlet is off the mark for Versteeg. They wave off icing at the last moment. Hardwick did not know. He was expecting the icing call, and he moves the puck to Linus Omar. Omar. Eyes with Carter. Carter flipped. Looked like he almost got clipped with a high stick there. It might have been his own stick. Now he's got the puck moving on up with it. Jeff Carter angled it in front off Dubnik. O'Donnell is there. Back around to Carter. The puck's following in tonight. Carter with the pass to Giroux for the shot. And he missed it. Wide. He's out. Up around for Giroux. Giroux holding on. Walking in front. Turns. And try to pass in front. And back the other way go the Oilers. Reddick's going to go around Mazaros. Tried to settle that, but O'Donnell able to cut it off. O'Donnell the hit on the wall, but Reddick's still trying to make a play. And he was upended. No call there, and the Flyers move back. And Riemsdyk hoping for Giroux. Giroux bracing himself for the hit from Gilbert. Trying to work through the checking of Gilbert. But rolls through. Pronger is there. And this second try, trying to stuff it to Giroux, but it's cut off by Gilbert. Gilbert, oh, he nearly turned it over to Giroux. He wasn't quite in position to handle that. Now here's Scotty Hartman with the puck. Long pass back, Pronger the shot. Dubnik the save, saw it all the way. No problem with that one. Less than 9 minutes to play here in the second. Pronger will play it in the neutral zone.
5-1 in the
second. Back to Tom. To organize the rush. Pronger, it's a cutting Leno in across the line. Leno trying to make the move and is poked away by Steve. Darby the other way. And he'll bounce one to the left of Bobrovsky. Kyle is back, Woodcroft right on him. Pronger there looking for Leno. Leno will shovel one out to the neutral zone. The wheel make its way all the way into Philadelphia ice. Piarvi is there. Now gives him a check, but Piarvi continues to control. Agnes Piarvi turning with it. Jack finds Horkoff. He's having difficulty there with the checking of Pronger. Leno in deep trying to help out his defenseman. Richards also in on the play. And now to scramble for the puck. So often we determine the fate of a hockey game. Flyers win that battle. And Pronger will clear the zone.
What great weight that Chris Pronger used on that little flip shot. He knew he was in trouble, at least as far as the gas tank and everybody else on the ice was. Not many guys that can lag from your end all the way down to the other end and not end up guilty of icing, but Pronger can just about every time. And now the Flyers are going to get a power play.
And that power play will begin when we come back.
We'll make it 6-1.
Penalty has been detected. Carter second tonight gave the
lead.
elbow.
The Flyers came back so fast.
Carter second tonight gave the Flyers a 3-1 elbow. Penalty has been detected. Carter second tonight gave the Flyers a 3-1 lead. JF shot. Zeller has been hot, helping the Canadians to their 4-game winning streak, trying to make it 5 tonight. Some ill will between those two clubs, and Tuukka Rask getting the start. That shows Eastern Conference standings.
And it's that ill will only goes back about 50 years.
How come Boston can't beat Montreal?
Oh, he scores. It's 6-1 for the Flyers and Scotty Arnold. 3 seconds into the power play, and the Flyers kept going.
Has been detected. Carter second tonight gave the Flyers a 3-1 lead. JF shot. Game winning streak, trying to make it 5 tonight. Some ill will between those 4-game winning streak, trying to make it 5 tonight. Some ill will between those two clubs, and Tuukka Rask getting the start. That shows Eastern Conference standings.
And it's that ill will only goes back.
Rask getting the start. That shows Eastern Conference standings.
And it's that ill will only goes back about 50 years.
How come Boston can't beat Montreal?
Good question. Flyers to the power play, and Carter with a shot there that is denied. Carter already with 2. The Flyers lost the puck there without Cagliano all the way down.
They don't lose every game for them.
Not every one of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah, they do. And Montreal's been good for a lot of years, but now they're not where Boston is in the standings, but Montreal's on a pretty good roll.
Boston, as you saw with their standings, within 2 of the Flyers. Boston had that puck very close to the outside area of the traffic.
But more importantly, JJ, is that he handled it confidently and decisively.
Recent games, he's been starting to show signs of that. Powell, nice pass to Timonen. But his shot is blocked off by Fraser. And a cross-ice attempt by Giroux is knocked down, but he goes and gets the puck back.
For me, it was always indecision that got Sergei Bobrovsky into trouble.
A long, low percentage pass attempt for the Flyers on a power play right there, and puck goes all the way down.
Again, another nice handle by Bobrovsky.
52 seconds remaining on this power play. Leno finds Briere. That fake swings to the left wing. Block Timonen. Briere again. Huttler's in the high slot. The pass goes in along for Leno. Leno for Timonen. Leno passing here. Now he's also trying to go inside and he's blocked aside. And Lennox will move it to center ice. Chased all the way by his house. He's struggling from the red line and send it in. 20 seconds left on the man advantage. Here's Kimmo Timonen. He finds Briere. Briere, nice little move at the line, but then he's checked. And Horkoff will get to Gagne. Gilbert's joining the rush as Gagne moves up. There's the pass to Gilbert, but there's in his skates. Timonen took care of him. Power play over. McIntyre putting that elbow in Mauer. It's out of the box. Flyer power play does not add to the lead.
Kind of a choppy power play, too. I mean, the Oilers deserve some credit on their kill, but the Flyers had a lot of low percentage plays, almost like that one, with not much chance of it succeeding.
This one leads to this. Chance for the Oilers as Vander's shot deflects and finds glass. Unable to clear it off the stick with Plant to set right back in. And has it again, and it jabs to the cross ice in the zone. Pass ahead. In trouble controlling the bouncing disc was Steve. Now it's Garcillo swinging in. 4:42 remaining in the second period. Each team has scored a goal in the second.
6-2
in the first.
6-1. Sorry.
It's the shot and the save made by Bobrovsky. We will be back. Flyers still leading by 2.
That the Edmonton Oilers are really missing. The former #1 pick overall last summer, and his name is Taylor Hall. He got injured, got a high ankle sprain the other night in a fight in Colorado. And the bottom line of the whole thing is he's got 8 power play goals, 4 game-winning goals, leads them in shots, leads them in points. As you can see that he will drop the gloves to boot, and you miss a player like that, it hurts.
Well, of course, his injury sparking conversations. His turnaround shot drifted wide. Taken by Linus Ullmark.
With
has it back.
goals.
Everyone wanting to know, should top players get involved in fights, as they do risk injury.
And you know what the answer is? If you're from an organizational sense, the answer is tell your player, don't do it.
The streak trying to slide on in here.
If it's not your MO. That was Taylor Hall's first fight in the NHL, and he went up against a tough guy in Dorset.
He basically initiated the fight. Dorsey was trying to protect a teammate who hit, and Dorsey said he wanted to go. So, it's not a guy I would usually fight, but Hall just kept pursuing it. Out-of-town scores upper right-hand corner of your screen on a busy and very important night in the NHL. After all that 2-0 lead. And the Pittsburgh Buffalo score as well. Florida with a surprise there. 2-0 lead on Chicago. Blackhawks have won 8 in a row. And the Devils have their hands full with Ottawa. Here's a turnover by the Flyers. Cagliano, a shot. Knocked off by Giroux. We're at that point in this game. It's 3-1 and whistle and a penalty. Martinez is going to go for interference behind the net as he got in Cagliano's way. We're at the point in this game, as they announced the call, interference, that you get that uneasy feeling. Edmonton's sort of sticking around.
Well, let's say they're not getting away, and they're not going away, as it seems to become a little quiet here after the goal by Edmonton. The Flyers are taking that 3-0 lead, and the teammate right there, he gets a little bit of a hip into Cagliano. Probably got away with it, but it was interesting enough. It was the referee that was standing in front of me here at the red line who made the call.
Oh, well, how was the view?
It was a pretty good view.
Okay. So you thought it was a penalty?
Yeah. Kimo made a decided move to get in the way and kind of have to call it, I think.
Third power play for the Oilers. They try to get within a goal here late in the second period. Longer. Doing that heavily. That squeezes free. Giroux trying to get in front with Scott. That's Alexander Giroux, of course. Pronger. Head for Powell, and he'll fire it all the way down.
What a play by Chris Pronger. Two guys draped all over him, still with the strength of one arm to pump up the boards.
A good catch by you. You almost grow accustomed to it. Or don't even notice he's that good.
Yeah. Makes the real good plays look very easy.
Yardy flipping once. Saborowski, rebound Saborowski. Jones could not get it by him, and now the Flyers with a chance to clear. And Giroux got it off the glove of Yardy onto the neutral zone. Well, Bobrovsky came up big right there. Back come the Oilers. Yardy moving his way into Jones. Now Cagliano. He'll deal to Gagne. Gagne down low. Cagliano around the other side. Centered it. Puts it on through. Over to get it is Foster. 38 seconds in the power play to Gagne. Gagne with a shot that deflects off Mazaros and out of play. This just
6'5" coming into this game.
Guys get the puck all the way down though. Now here's Horkoff. This is the puck to the Philadelphia line. Brings it deep. Puck skips out to the slot. Betts is there, and he will scoop one all the way down. I believe time to just begin one more rush on the power play field. 1:20 remaining in the period. Horkoff unimpeded through center. Stopped by Coburn. And Coburn was hoping for teaming him out of the box, but about a second or two too early. The puck just went harmlessly down the ice. The Flyers are back to full strength. Got it to center, laying on it there. Quickly across from Mazaros. Mazaros will drill it in. Boys up close to heart. Moving out of the zone. Reflex they do. Then into the puck spins, but he's knocked down. Moving the other way is Reddix. And Reddix will send it to the Philadelphia zone and chase and get to it himself. Get to the other corner, but the Flyers are all over that. Carl, out to center. Vandermeer bats that down. Bounces it right back in. There was up to 10 shots for the game. And of course, only had one in the first period. Briere wipes out, lost the puck. Here's Cagliano turning with it. His pass, one-time shot goes wide. Garvey missing the target. Reddix has it, centered it. Intercepted by Briere, but he hesitated, and Garvey knocked it away from him. 24 seconds remaining in the period. Shot from the play, easy stick save for Bobrovsky off a plant. And Vandermeer sweeping it down low, Piarvi. 15 seconds in the period. Piarvi turning it back around behind for Cagliano. Centered it, shot by Jacques is tipped by Mazaros to the corner. Now Plant back around behind. Great pressure from the Oilers here in the last seconds of the period. Jacques centers, loose puck, Vandermeer back at it. Saborowski rebound, Jones up high, and the horn sounds, and the Flyers should be happy to get to the locker room, still leading by 2.
Still leading by 5.
Busy toward the end.
In the second period.
The
5 goals.
Set up on the lone Edmonton goal. It is 3-1 Flyers through 2.
The Philadelphia Flyers head for game 7.
The second period was
The Flyers
set up on the lone
by
Busy toward the
3-2.
end.
Yager.
Set up on the lone Edmonton goal. It is 3-1 Flyers
6-1 Flyers.
Tonight's Flyers over the second period was brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. By your Quality Plus Ford stores. And by Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, maximum energy, 0 calories. Downstairs we go to Steve Coates, set to chat.
Well, that's a lot.
And I'm wondering.
It's in the books. Game with 40 minutes in the books. Here at the Wells Fargo Center, the second period scoring summary. Jeff Carter second of the night gave the Flyers a short-lived 3-goal lead. Yeah, Jacques second of the night gave the Flyers a short-lived 3-goal lead.
It is 2012.
Jacques got the Flyers on the board less than a minute later.
And it was official a couple of minutes into the second period that the Edmonton Oilers were coming with a push. They outchanced the Flyers 8-4 in the second period. And pretty well out everything, the Flyers, except outscored them. Each team was one in that period, so the Flyers have that precious 2-goal lead that's been tough for them to deal with in third periods, and gaining advantages has been tough for the Flyers in third periods.
And so we are underway, yes. The period has been a bugaboo for the Flyers here at Lake. The goaltender Devin Dubnyk is able to make the save off of Carcillo. These numbers for these clubs in this situation. Recent numbers for the Flyers in the third period have not been good. And something they've got to fix. This is a very important period of hockey for the Flyers right here. Richards, Silverstein, it's chipped away. Everly couldn't clear. It's in the air. Chipped by Carcillo, but played by Gilbert. Had the Biagi. They wound up in the blast that's blocked by Ponyer. Then he tips it ahead for Richards. He's at the end of the shift. They backhand in and head off the ice. And Vandermeer picks it up. As the Flyer moves that puck up to center, that'll deflect back down. Teaman gathers for Philadelphia. Nice set up on the third Flyer goal. Connection is Giroux. Has some difficulty. That's goes through having difficulty with Alexander. Giroux the center of the pass. And Reddick is picked away. Reddick trying to stay with it. Carter 24. Vandermeer keeps it in, but then Carter is second. Stuffed at the center, but he hit something on the Philadelphia bench.
We're talking about different types of check. So this is going to be a sweep check. Watch. Oh, yeah. Tatiana's right there. Now, Bobrovsky's on the other side. Right there. That's a sweep check. You see that? He got that puck out of there? That's what we're going to call it. Okay, that's what we're going to call it. That's our Wells Fargo great sweep check. I know it's not exactly falling right underneath the desk.
Coach, have you ever sold refrigerators to Eskimos?
No. Go.
No, but get him to tell you the story about his
number 94, Ryan Smith of the Oilers.
There was just 5.
3 points away.
They're trying on that.
Well,
it was a good
47.
It was.
And it's a point.
Obviously, it didn't go.
There have been some hits in the game. Actually, the Oilers with 3 more hits than the Flyers through 2 periods. But that was an effective puck play by Mazowski, if you can call it a check. Here's Gagne moving up. Lost control at the line. They move it back to center. Leno was checked right there. It looked like a little bit of a sweep check. And now sent in by Ryan Jones. Over in the back. Going to get that through Sam Gagne. The puck will roll on its edge out to the neutral zone. Quiet beginning to this third period. 2 minutes in. The Warriors will dump and chase. Hartman around. He keeps it in. He didn't have to practice. Now he got to do with Volkov. And still got that puck ahead to Hartman. He pulled. No ice in here. As Jordan Everly goes back to 20-year-old. All the way out to Volkov. Volkov holding on. Gets some room. Blast. That's blocked. Now looking out for the zone. Everly has it. Everly lost control as he tried to move out in front of Bobrovsky. Will accept that puck and cover.
Good since the
Get away from Carcillo and out of the puck. Flyers kept that puck in momentarily.
For Edmonton to score through the blue line from behind their net.
Flyers kept that puck in momentarily, but now moving on out is Cagliano with speed. The shot, save Bobrovsky. Cagliano can flat out fly once he gets those legs in gear. Now the Flyers have it. It's for Stieg. Up the right wing, cuts to the middle. Lays it off for O'Donnell. O'Donnell holding on. Send it in front off Richard stick and wide. Speed to the puck. He's going to lug the center ice. Out of this Pronger trade. That puck wide. All the way out to O'Donnell. And they'll just slip it through center ice. This Pronger, of course, spent 1 year in Edmonton. Went to the Stanley Cup Finals. And basically asked out. And they didn't necessarily like the lifestyle in Edmonton. And they wanted to move along. And he was moved. This will be icing. As back goes Vandermeer for the touch-up.
The Edmonton Oilers have not made the playoffs since that year, 2006, in their trip to the finals. Chris Pronger on a long list of Flyers, 2006, in their trip to the finals. Chris Pronger on a long list of Flyers players who are former first-round picks. Now, Pronger wasn't drafted by the Flyers, but when you take a look at the Toyota Cup standings, some first-rounders in that group as well. The Flyers have a total of 12 former first-round picks on their roster. Edmonton with a total of 11. 5 of the first-round picks for Philadelphia were actually Flyers' choices. 8 of Edmonton's 11 first-round picks were Oiler originals.
That's a lot of blue chippers either way.
23 first-rounders combined on the two rosters. Now, they're not all in the lineup tonight. We talked about Taylor Hall being out with a high ankle sprain, but that's a lot of blue chip stock right there, baby.
No question about it. In general, you're going to build successful teams if you get a lot of those. And there are some first-round picks that don't pan out, but most of them, at least to some degree, work their way to the NHL. No icing call here as we approach the 4-minute mark of this third period. Now, when you're in a losing streak, sometimes the mentality, you try to avoid this, but there's that mentality that something bad is about to happen. And I think the Flyers are fighting through that right now. They're playing cautiously here in the third, trying not to make a mistake. Got to get through it, right through it. Driving. Check, Pronger reaching for it. All over along with Van Riemsdyk, the puck in front to Pronger. And now here's Carter. Rink wide feed. Airborne couldn't be handled by Giroux.
So that play is a typical example of what I'm talking about. Here come the Oilers again. If Jeff Carter had taken one more stride, he could have gotten the puck in deep himself.
Was Everly trying to do some nifty maneuvering and get in front. Horkoff back out. Strudwick shot. That one went high through some traffic. Riemsdyk poking at the puck could not come up. He lost his stick, but the Flyers get the puck at Pronger. Get to Carter. This time he won't play it in.
Of course, he needs a change at the end of the shift, but that's the smart play in a game like this.
We talked about Biardi at the beginning of the game. Did you see that kid just pick up that puck and fly down the side of the ice? Man, can he cook.
Well, as Fargo Center decided this only meeting of the season between the Flyers and Oilers here on Comcast Sportsnet. Great crew. Going to be along with you as the Flyers try to get back on the winning track. There's Greer up the right wing in the middle. Hartnell tried to move that past Gilbert, could not. It's kept in by Coburn. Meade overskated. Hartnell touches the puck to the wall, but Cagliano got there. The Oilers move up through the middle as Reddick's with some speed. There's it wide. Team to stay right with him and takes him to the wall. He wrapped it up some, but so hard the Flyers will move it to the line and not out. Never do get it out. Omark will get the puck back to Gagne. Gagne from the angle shot. Saved right out in front. Hartnell is there to rescue. To make the deke and carry it up. 3-on-2 developing for the Flyers. Hartnell slows down as he gets to the line, though, and the play goes offside.
Well, another reminder that next season's full and partial ticket packages are on sale. They're on sale right now. And Flyers season ticket holders receive really some amazing benefits, including discounts from box office pricing, playoff priority, flexible payment plans. So reserve your tickets now by calling 215-218-PUCK.
Oilers gain control off the draw. Here's Vandermeer. And off the stick. Omark into the Philadelphia zone. Shelley, quick little tip pass to Betts. Betts moving up. He's going to wind it deep, hoping for Powell, but Dubnyk will cut that one off behind the net. Foster up the wall. Jones tries to clear. Can't. O'Donnell, the shot. That hit bodies. That had been Vandermeer. He never got to the net. And the puck doesn't get to center. Here's Betts looking for either Powell or Carcillo, and it goes back out to center ice. O'Donnell for Shelley. Shelley, the other headed receiver of that pass. He got there as the Oilers tipped it out to the neutral zone. And the Oilers come back to Philadelphia. Good play there by Shelley. Knock it back to center. Plant gets to Reddick, but the play is called on the offside. O'Donnell to Richards, navigating his way through the neutral zone. And a shot off that went wide. Yard be able to get to the puck, but Richards nearly was able to get away from him. But now Schmid ahead to Jacques. Jacques hustled from behind by Versteeg. They say the play is onside. Yardley turns, his shot goes off the shin pad wide. Bounces back out. Chuck Foster blocked by Carcillo. He felt that one. He is dippy. He's on one leg right now trying to make his way over to the Philadelphia catch. And of course, the puck finds him, so he tries to make a play. And he does deflect it in, but he's now hobbling to the bench. Here's Horkoff. Charging the center. Checked by Carter. Knocked down. But it was offside. Flyers get the puck back.
Flyers would sure like to establish some kind of forecheck here to chew away at the clock, because they've had virtually no first man pressure, or for that matter any forechecking that's been sustained since the middle part of this game, and it's a lot easier eating up the clock in the other end.
They're just waiting right now, guys. Jimmy and Billy, they're just waiting for the opportunity to come back with a counterattack.
This is the puck here as Carter tried to center, but it's snuffed out. And Vandermeer to Alexander Giroux. Ryder steps into him.
Right on cue. Flyers start with a sustained forecheck. Really the first forecheck of the period.
Oilers break out 2-on-2. A forward is back. Here's Cogliano, the shot. Saborowski in the rebound. Batted to the corner. Cogliano got it back to the point Plant.
Install antivirus, but seek slider at 1 hour 29 minutes 0 seconds at 1 hour 48 minutes 1 hour. Pause through finish. 1 hour 29 minutes 11 seconds at 1 hour 48 minutes. But
what was the problem? They got the forecheck, but wrong.
1 hour 29 minutes 4 seconds at 1 hour 48 minutes 34 seconds.
Here's a pass. And getting it to Cogliano, spinning away from the check, changing direction, back to Strudwick. Sails one wide. Plant on it again. Now behind the net, trying to step in front. Reddick, loose puck, and Bobrovsky able to find it and cover up. No time to give the answer to our Jeep trivia question. We asked what current Flyer player recorded the first ever successful penalty shot goal in the Stanley Cup Final game. Steve Briere or Pronger?
1 hour 29 minutes 37 seconds at 1.
Chris Pronger in Game 1 of the 2006 Stanley Cup Finals as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. Beat Cam Ward. We were all trying to think back to a penalty.
1 hour.
Check for the Flyers last year.
1 hour 29 minutes 55 seconds.
Yeah, we would have remembered that. It had to be Chris Pronger.
Or Versteeg against the Flyers.
Right. Yeah. We would have remembered that.
Right.
So simple, a 7-year-old should have been able to figure that out.
Exactly. We couldn't. What does that say? Don't answer that question.
It means I played 9 years.
1 hour 30 minutes 17 seconds at 1 hour 4.
In the NHL without a helmet.
1 hour 30 minutes.
At least you have an excuse.
seconds at 1 hour 48 minutes 20.
We have now played over 9 minutes here in the third. Still a 3-1 hockey game. And there's 5 shots on goal here in the third. 4 of them belong to Edmonton. Teaming it. Brings it up around the other way. He's there now. Colbert, his opposite number, will just backhand it to center. Briere looking for Gilbert. As it worked away by Briere. And he got that stick near the midsection, but got away with it. Aleno centering for Hardo. Dubnyk says no rebound. Briere. Dubnyk just puts that big body in the way and gave him very
1 hour 30 minutes 53 seconds of 1 hour 48 minutes.
little to shoot at.
1 hour
There's
30
by
minutes. 1
far
hour
the best
30
flurry
minutes.
the Flyers have had here in the third. Really, since about midway through the second.
And just an indication of how the game has changed. I mean, Devin Dubnyk was by far the most obvious and visible player in the first period because he had to be. And how many saves has he really had to make since then?
Not many.
Seek slider at 1 hour 31 minutes 14 seconds of 1 hour 48 minutes.
Not many at all.
1 hour 39 minutes.
Now the Flyers gain center with speed, but they are offside as Richards enters his own business. Going for Briere, and then right back behind the net, off of Leno to Hartnell. He tries to get it behind the net. Vandermeer able to keep it away from both Leno and Briere. With Reddicks. Doing it in Philadelphia zone. Back after it. Now it's O'Donnell. Right off Leno, and it does deflect to center ice. Foster will get the puck to Colin Fraser. Now Edmonton looks to organize the rush. Heavily stepping around Hartnell, but did not get past Pronger. Pronger to Hartnell in the middle for Richards. Off to Versteeg. Versteeg holds the shot. And Dubnyk able to make the save and hang on.
Well, let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines saves of the game. This comes at the end of the second period. Sergei Bobrovsky, not one, not two. Here comes another one. Bang, right in the slot area. He's just moving from post to post all over the place. The Edmonton Oilers came with a real rush at the end of that period. And that is our Southwest Airlines plural saves of the game.
Well, that was huge right there. Keeping the Flyers up by 2 and trying to go up 3 right there as Richards tried to tuck that one home but could not. And the Oilers have it. Lead. Finds it into the Philadelphia zone. Bobrovsky out. It's a confident play, but Volkov knocked out his clear, but Priscilla winds up with the puck. Now Richards will watch as Versteeg sneaks the puck into the zone. Richards heading off on a change, but look out. Here come the Oilers. Horkoff to the Philadelphia line. Horkoff to the RV. Shot in. Bobrovsky sneaks that one away. Versteeg trying to clear the zone. Vandermeer battling to keep it in. Puck is in there, skate. Giroux in after it. Picking at the puck, got it to the line, but not out. Good keep by Alexander Giroux. He got it off a shot that was blocked, and now the other way. Flyers with a chance here. Teaming it with the pass. Oh, and he loses Versteeg. He would have most likely had a breakaway.
To take a hop,
Must have.
looked like it was right on the money.
It did. It took a hop right at the last second, just when it was about to hit the blade, and he was in full flight, and actually the pass was right on the money. The problem was that last hop.
Lob pass to the Philadelphia zone. Flyers handle that. Marines definitely back to O'Donnell. 7:40 to play here in the third. Saros whipping in from the red line. Carter around hoping for Giroux. He could not handle it. Oilers try to move back in transition. Fabiano again trying to use that speed, but offside. Called at the line. Again off the neutral zone draw. Flyers are in Toronto Thursday, back home against Canada. And off the neutral zone draw. Flyers are in Toronto Thursday, back home against
Edmonton Alberta Friday.
A bit more games against teams that are desperate for points. The remainder of this week, and then a road trip next week.
Is open.
Schmid from behind his net. Pass to Gagne. Gagne from the blue line, winding it deep to Philadelphia. Up to the puck forward. Kelly. And a second try. Now Pronger. Pronger will gain the right line and hit the line when he's up with the power go to Philly.
There's 6 minutes left in the third period. 6-1.
Down. Left it to the other side, but there's Horkoff. Pass off, 2-minute stick. They'll be back after Leno is there. It's been a long time. You have to go back before the All-Star break. The last time the Flyers scored 4 goals in regulation time to the attended net. They have 3 here. They'll look to get their 4th here. Briere moving up. Briere for Hartnell, tipped away. Loose puck. Leno. Side of the net. Now back out in front. And that one eluded Hartnell. Briere could not get in the puck. Panthers team in to get their disc in the Philadelphia zone. Timo looking things over as he moves up. Play that one into the zone, and it's icing as Vandermeer touches up.
Well, your only way to guarantee seats for the most exciting hockey of the season is to call now and reserve club box seats. Don't miss your chance to see hard-hitting playoff hockey from a premium lower-level seat. The number's 215-389-9500. Operators are standing by right now.
I gave you that note, guys, about the Flyers having not scored more than 3 in regulation. Not an empty netter since before the All-Star break. What makes that amazing is before the All-Star break, they're not going more than 3 straight games without scoring 4 goals in the regulation time and defended net. Timeout called by Peter Laviolette right here. So Peter Laviolette, 5:34 to go, icing. Refs want to say his players rested.
In Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final.
389-9500. Operators are standing by right.
I gave you that note, guys, about right here. So Peter Laviolette, 5:34 to go, icing. Refs want to say his players rested. He's got some things to say. Well, you're looking right there at the 4 major sports and the biggest turnarounds from first half to second half of the season. Why do we show you this? Like the Braves in baseball, the Canadians back to 79-80. The Nuggets, remember them, they made a great playoff run. And the Green Bay Packers in 1984. We show you this because this year the New Jersey Devils are making quite a turnaround.
They would shatter the hockey percentage.
Yeah.
And they're 19-2-2 in their last 23.
Right. Yes. And they're down to Ottawa on home ice. 2-1. That would be a devastating loss for the Devils. I mean, they have to win maybe 1 or 2 of their main
in sports
games because they have so many teams they have to climb over. But they were once 27 points down.
Yeah.
And the largest deficit ever overcome for a team to make the playoffs was 12. The idea of how
the Flyers
quickly in
made the playoffs.
There's still a long way to go, but a loss to Ottawa at home would really. Flyers had the Devils only 1 more time this year. Meantime, the Flyers after the timeout. And the 2-goal lead here. And to seal this one away. Alexander Giroux gets to the puck here. Steered into the corner. It's a screw. Flyers have it. Richards. Tiger with his glove and now puts it down. Moves it up with his stick and fires in. Dubnik. Now for Alexander Giroux. Out to center and played back in. Crosby offside if they touched the puck in the zone. They did not. So play carries on. Alexander Giroux gets it back to Vandermeer. Now Foster. It's 1 in from center. That took a strange clearing off of Bobrovsky, but he's handled. Moves ahead to Van Riemsdyk. Good play to Edmonton ice. To Schmid. Carter in on him. Jeff Carter kicks the puck free. Finds Van Riemsdyk. Riemsdyk standing on that pass, though. Didn't get enough out. It's Linus Ullmark the other way to Sam Gagner. They say it's onside. Gagner's shot blocked. Carter a chance to move back in transition. He finds Van Riemsdyk. Moving up. The pass to Giroux. Giroux holding on. His pass back across. The nice pass that is taken back by the Oilers. Gagner ran into some traffic behind the net, but there was Ullmark. But he then whiffs on a pass. Puck sitting around, bouncing around. Giroux reaching for it. Tried to pass into the middle, but that was Ullmark. And he finds Gagner moving up. Sam Gagner to the Philadelphia line. To Biarvi. Magnus Biarvi around behind. Back in front. Gagner shot. Save Bobrovsky. He's able to scramble and cover on the back. Sam Gagner to the Philadelphia line. To Biarvi. Magnus Biarvi around behind. Back in front. Gagner shot. He's able to scramble and cover on the loose back. Less than 4 minutes to play in the third still. 3-1 Philadelphia.
3-1 the Flyers lead. You always let's take a look at our Toyota turning point of tonight's game. Jeff Carter's got a couple of goals. Let's take a look at the one in the second period. Face-off when it all begins. Now watch Cole. He goes to the net. Keeman. What a great job Keeman did. Came in from his left point position. Vandermeer went after him. That left corner all by himself. Keeman put a great pass right onto the stick of Carter. That's how we stand right now. 3-1.
Score 3:53 to play.
The Flyers will wait for the Stanley Cup victory.
Here's a nice
before Game 7.
Carl again, this time to Versteeg. Versteeg looks up for
And the Oilers finish the playoffs. The Oilers get their Stanley Cup win. Over 1993. Montreal Canadiens. 19 years of Stanley Cup Canadian rivalry. Oilers have not won a cup since 1990.
Oilers have outshot the Flyers 74 here in the third period. Flyers outshot Edmonton 17-1 in the first, but it's not 26-19. So the Oilers have got into that significantly. And then Rutland's gotten past Bobrovsky. As the back at the puck deep at the Edmonton line.
Waiting one for Brock.
Two huge saves on rebounds. Jazz shot again right up. And Reddick's the backhander save rebound. Save Edmonton line. And Reddick's the backhander save rebound.
Bobrovsky right in the center with a save by Sergei Bobrovsky. Are you kidding me?
Huge saves on rebounds. Jazz shot again right around the blue paint. It's still 3-1.
Unbelievable. Saves by Sergei Bobrovsky.
Happy is down on the ice. He's really laying it because he required a fail to get the puck in deep with the offensive blue line. And the Oilers came storming back. What a series of saves, though. As Sergei Bobrovsky with his pads. And the cross-ice pass is knocked down. Here come the Oilers. The shot. Alexander Giroux in the save.
Magnus Bayer with a shot. With just 3 minutes left of the third.
Down there back after. Let's Gilbert play it. Gilbert turning. Gilbert. Let the Albie. The Albie's pass. Around behind the net. He's able to get the team on a nice move. Got it to Leno. Leno will get to the red line and get the puck into the Edmonton zone. Less than 2 minutes to play. Quick pass up. Let it down. Lined up. Fire! Save it. Calls up into the shoulder and then it's swept away as it finally races Richards. Got it out of harm's way. We just knew this wasn't going to be easy. The Flyers have made it tough on themselves there, JJ. They have not gotten the puck deep enough consistently and up in the Edmonton zone, and they all are given credit. They move the puck really well, and they're really fast. I mean, their counterattack, when you give them a chance, is really strong. Another turnover in the neutral zone by the Flyers, and Foster, they throw it in, Rubens heading to the bench. Extra factor is on. Foster shot deflected. Blocked in front. Heavily over skates. Takes it out of the zone. And the speed pitches it toward the empty net, but they won't make it there. Speed is back. 1:05 to play right now in this third period. Speed. Trouble. Heavily backhand in. Even is back.
For the last minute.
How about
Sergei Bobrovsky will look for the final save.
Gilbert goes it into a nice play. Turns it over. Passes down.
What a save! And
he tried to downlace it with not enough steam for Ocean.
he's trying to make a chance to make the goal.
Gilbert goes it into a nice play. Turns it over for Ocean.
The Flyers and the Oilers will try to get for Game 7. 18 seconds left. The Philadelphia Flyers, 1 goal, and they're 1 point and 1 shot away from beating as the Stanley Cup champions. 1 more game, everybody. The Flyers win it 6-1, and they will head for Game 7. First time since the Vancouver-Boston game. The 2011 Stanley Cup Final is a big year. And the Final score, Monterey, Oilers trying to tie the series at 3 and won it.
This game was close because the Flyers were so all over Edmonton in the first period. And a guy that delivered most of the damage.
Fans all happy with tying the series at 3 games apiece. Playoff win. Not winning in the Stanley Cup final.
And so for the first time in nearly a decade, the
Score is 2-1. Flyers won the Stanley Cup in 2010. But 2 years later, Game 6 has put it away. Game 7 will be next 3 days. Good night from Philadelphia.
Tonight's Flyers-Oilers game was brought to you by your local tri-state Toyota dealers. Go Flyers, go Toyota. Moving forward. By Bud Light, the sure side of a good time. Here we go. By Wells Fargo, when you're considering buying your first home, Wells Fargo is with you. Wells Fargo, together we go far. And by the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. Flyers are back in action on Thursday evening as they will travel north of the border once again. This time to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. A rematch of last week's game won
the
by
final
the Leafs
game of the season.
Flyers
Game 7.
Maple Leafs, a rematch of last
This
week's
is
game
the
won by
toughest
the
one
Leafs
to
of
beat.
Flyers trying to reverse.
For the Edmonton Oilers,
Flyers
in
and
their
Leafs.
22nd
Flyers trying to reverse.
Stanley Cup
Last
victory
week's game won by the Leafs of Philadelphia. Flyers
year
trying to
over the
reverse.
1990 Stanley Cup champion.
Won by the Leafs of Philadelphia. Flyers trying to reverse fortunes this time around. Flyers and Leafs Thursday night. Flyers trying to reverse.
And they will for Game 7.
Thursday night, our coverage begins with Flyers pregame live at 6:30. Opening face-off just after 7 o'clock on Comcast Sportsnet. High definition were available.
Good night from Philadelphia.
And that will be a big one for the Flyers as they try to build off their first win in over a week.
Stanley Cup victory in 2 years, 2 seasons of the NHL against the Hawks in Game 6.
Good start for the Flyers. Built
Start
up
for the Flyers, tied the series at 3 games apiece.
For the Flyers, built up the
One more game,
and held off the
it would have been an elimination game.
for the entire
Game
crew,
7.
as well as my broadcast. Hold on, that's the Oilers. For the entire crew, as well as my broadcast partners, Bill Clement and Steve Coates, I'm Jim Jackson. Good night from the Wells Fargo.
Good night.
My broadcast partners, Bill Clement and Steve Coates, I'm Jim Jackson.
2012
Good night from the Wells Fargo
13.
Center. Stay tuned now for Flyers post-game live. Presented. Good night from the Wells Fargo Center. Stay tuned now for Flyers post-game live. Presented by McDonald's.